Coming up next on Not the 9 to 5 podcast.
They said I was made redundant, but I think basically they thought, she's rubbish, we need to let her go. Started to go towards dating. It just becomes an obsession, like buying books about it all the time, like just complete obsession.
Yeah, no, me and you both. She's hyper organised and I can't cope. I'm like, it's too much, it's too organised.
But you know what, in a duo, you need one that's organised and one that's not.
You do.
Like, you're letting me go. I have to get another job. It's like, no, you're an entrepreneur. You should just go and do your business.
Welcome to Not the 9 to 5,
The podcast for freelancers
by freelancers.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out,
Join us as we share insights, tips and stories.
to help you thrive in the world of independent work.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Francesca.
We are two freelancers exploring the highs, lows
And everything in between. So grab your coffee, kick back,
and let's dive into another episode of Not the 9 to 5.
Katheryn Siggers.
Francesca Marago.
Hello.
We're back again, another
back
episode.
again. I know.
Can you believe who we've got today?
No, I can't.
We
Tell
have
me.
got Siobhan Copland, an award-winning professional matchmaker and dating and relationship coach.
Ooh.
Siobhan's agency, Cupid in the City, was set up to help time-poor professionals navigate the complicated dating scene of living in a big city. Siobhan hasn't worked in a 9-to-5 job in over a decade.
Wow.
That is crazy. Hello, Siobhan.
Hi, girls. Thanks for the intro.
You're so welcome. I'm so curious.
Yeah.
How did you get into matchmaking and being a dating and relationship coach? That's so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's not that many matchmakers in the world, although there's much more in America than there is in the UK. But and it's growing. But yeah, it's definitely not something you go to school and think one day I'm going to grow up and become a matchmaker. Like, you just don't. I didn't even know it was a career until I started doing it as a career. Do you know? That's the weird thing about it. It was just literally. I know, a lot of people say they fell into things, and I genuinely fell into things. And the way I fall into things is because I'm a yes person. So whenever anyone offers me an opportunity to try something, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's see. If it doesn't work out, then I'll try something else. So I've never really been a person that's been always known what I wanted to do, but I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. So if there were ever opportunities that presented themselves, which meant that I could do something, if it's a side hustle, whatever, to work for myself in some capacity, I would jump at that chance. So the way that I got into this was actually as a kind of side gig. I was a PA for a comedian, and we were organising a comedy show every week. And he had noticed that most people that were attending were regulars, but also most of them were single. So that was his observation. And it was interesting because as part of that event, we were actually doing a dating segment on the comedy night.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was already been a bit of a Cilla Black on the night. We'd have to pick one person from the audience, and that one person would have to show me 3 people in the room that they wouldn't mind going on a date with, having not spoken to them, but just to see them across the room, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind. So then we'd invite them to the front of the stage, and then the audience would choose who they go on a date with, and then we'd pick them to go for like Nando's or something, somewhere. I'm not allowed to say what name, but pay for chicken and chips somewhere. So so that was that, and that's how it started. And then I think he had the idea about doing a speed dating night, but he didn't want to involve himself in it, and he just said, why don't you run a speed dating night? And yeah, I was like, sure. So we did, and it went really well. Everybody loved it. Everybody thought it was great fun. And I just become quite fascinated by the sort of data that I was collecting, because of, you'd get people to fill in a form, say what they did for work, what their interests were, their age and cultural background and religion, whatever else. And I sort of started naturally like curiously start studying the data and going, oh, so who matched with who that night, and why did they match? Just wanting to understand what was making people choose, who to match with, because we were getting very successful matches. I think it helped that people there probably had something in common already. They like comedy. We had a DJ there every week. They liked the same kind of music. So there was definitely like this sort of culture that we'd created as part of that, which made it easier.
Yeah.
But I think my curiosity for matchmaking sort of stemmed from there, and then it just kind of evolved from there, I would say, in a long story short scenario. But actually the actual time that I ended up doing it full time was getting made redundant and then taking that leap. So
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So you got made redundant from the PA job, or did you go into some other jobs after that?
Yeah. So when I started working for The Comedian, I just returned from living in Dubai for a few years, which was really fun and interesting. And so again, I was sort of just looking to land on my feet again and, figure out a way that I could financially support myself. So I had a few things going on, full-time job in an office, doing this with a comedian, doing a bit of journalism work as well, like writing for different articles. And so just I've always liked a lot of variety. But the full-time thing was an office job. And I'll be honest, I am not an organised person. And it's something that I'm still trying to work out how to be. Like, I'm so impressed.
Yeah. No, me and you both. She's hyper organised, and I can't cope. I'm like, it's too much. It's too organised.
But you know what? In a duo, you need one that's organised and one that's not.
You do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's my thing. And so I tried these sort of, PA jobs that were more admin related. Oh my God, I just sucked. I absolutely sucked at them. Bless the people that gave me a chance to do them, but I was awful. Like, just simple tasks, like, filing and all of that. I was just awful at it. And they said I was made redundant, but I think basically they thought, she's rubbish, we need to let her go. But they didn't want to say it in that way. But
yeah.
because I was, I had a good relationship with my bosses, so much so that they actually said to me, I never forget, and these words really have stuck with me since I decided to become a full-time entrepreneur, which was, Siobhan, don't go and get another job. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you're letting me go. I have to get another job. It's like, no, you're an entrepreneur. You should just go and do your business.
Oh my God.
And that was just, wow. No one had ever told me that before, that they saw me as an entrepreneur. And I never thought of myself as one, but they could see something. And this sort of growing obsession that I had with, doing the events and then actually taking on people as matchmaking clients and writing articles, and everything started to go towards dating. It just became this obsession, like buying books about it all the time, like just complete obsession. And so, they just said, you've got a business, just go and do that. And I think that was such a pivotal moment, just sort of, because when you get laid off from work, like, that's something that could just crush you,
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, what do I do now? Like, I've been sacked or I've been laid off, but it was actually, instead of it knocking my confidence, it gave me the confidence to go out and actually do something on my own. And that security being taken away is sometimes the biggest blessing.
Yeah. I guess it forces you to just
make the jump.
Yeah, and chase your passion, really, of what you truly, truly want to do. How did you so from that you then started the matchmaking business, is that right, on your own, or did you partner with anyone? Or
I started on my own. I started offering matchmaking services to the people who'd been coming to the events. Done a little bit of research into matchmakers, couldn't find much. It's a bit of a curious profession and quite a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like, I couldn't find much information.
It's niche, isn't it?
Yeah, very niche.
And I feel like the people that were doing it were like older women that had been doing it for 25 years, and they didn't want some young 20-something-year-old coming in and like thinking she's a matchmaker, So I did a bit of that where I was just like, I didn't even feel like I could really get a mentor or get someone that could support me into it. I kind of felt very excluded at the start. And so, I just kind of started doing my own research, and then I just thought, you know what, if I can charge, and I moved back in with my mum, and I just remember putting a whiteboard on my bedroom wall, and going, if I can make £1,500 a month out of this business, I can move out my mum's, and I'll be all right again. So I was like, I'm going to charge people £95 a month, and if I can get 15 people to sign up, £95 a month, I'm leaving. And I remember getting the board and be like, I'm so close. And I'll be like, right, I'm going to prove, because even my mum was like, go and get a job. Like, you're not staying here.
Yeah.
You need to pay your way. You know, I was getting that pressure there as well. And I was like, so depressing. I've just come back from Dubai, living the life of luxury. And here I am, back at my mum's, back in my old bedroom. My mum's now partner, who doesn't particularly want me there either. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I need to get out. This has got to work. And I got to that point where I had 15 clients, and I was like, okay, I feel like I've actually got something here. I've got something that could be a business, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. And then how did you kind of develop it from there?
Yeah, so then it kind of, then I actually came across the show The Millionaire Matchmaker, which
I love that show.
Yeah,
I never seen it.
and that was another big eye opener. I was just like, how much is she charging? And when I saw how much she's charging, I mean, I'm still not there, but oh my goodness, you know. And I was like, wow, this is a real business. Like, people are willing to pay good money for this. Like, this is an important stuff. Like, people really want to find someone, you know. And it just really dawned on me, and I just thought, right, I need to figure out how to really kind of make this into a bigger, more professional business. And, you know, it very much was building that database. I wasn't prepared to be charging what other people charge until I knew I had a good database of people to match. And plus, I'd made matches, right? There are people today that have started into matchmaking, and they'll come straight in charging the big bucks with zero experience. Good for them to be ballsy, but I just couldn't. I was like, I need to prove to myself I'm actually a matchmaker. Like, so when I had my first engagement, and that was the first introduction that they had, and it was within 6 months, I was like, okay, maybe I do know what I'm doing here, you know. And again, it's that you need that little bit of confidence boost again to kind of go, I'm going in the right direction. I've got something here, you know. I've proved to myself that I got results. Yeah, I haven't been to university. So again, like, you have all these doubts in your mind thinking, I'm not an educated person, like, and the people that are coming to me are super educated and wealthy and all this. And there's part of you that's like, I'm just this girl, grew up in a council house from East Ham, who's never been to university and who's never, you know, been in this world of all the, you know, wealthy, well-to-do people. And why would they want to come to me? But it's like, actually, they want to come to me because they get me. They've got good rapport. I can, like, really get them to open up, really get to know them. And I'm a good networker, and I'm sociable. Like, I'm always out. Like, I'm always meeting people, you know. So it was kind of, I think it just, you know, as with more experience and more successful matches, you know, the price starts to go up. And it's got to a point now where I've got 3 full-time people working with me. I've actually got 2 businesses now. I've bought another agency from someone else. So it's still growing, even though, you know, and I still have this sort of imposter syndrome to deal with. But it's gone from strength to strength.
So talk us through the matchmaking.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that question.
Like, how does it work? What's the procedure? Like, so you have people come to you and they're, you know, they're stuck in love. So what do you do to get them their ideal match? How does it work?
Good question. So one of the things that I'm really passionate about doing, and what I have invested sort of in my education side, is on the coaching side. So I'm really passionate about that. I mean, I'm very direct person and, you know, quite straight, and I sort of call a spade, you know, but obviously there's got to be an element of, you know, you've got to be compassionate, of course, as well with coaching. And with my clients, I really feel that actually, you know, some people might say, oh, it's not so professional to kind of have a friendship with your clients, but I feel I do. We've just got such a close relationship that they really do turn to me with everything. Like, they're constantly voice noting me and, you know, sending notes and things. And I'm their kind of go-to person for advice, and I love to be that. Like, I don't have any siblings, so for me, it's like being the big sister, and I love it. And so for me, it's like, of course, you can't always help everyone as much as I would love to just help the entire world find love. Like, it's not possible for me alone. So for me, it's also working with clients who I feel quite aligned with. Like, I feel like we have a good connection. If I feel someone, I just can't connect with them, then I'll just refer them to someone else. So that's the first thing, I think just being selective with who you want to work with. And it's so tempting to just take the money, because you've got a business and you need to take the money. But I always believe that if one person's not right, the person who's right is going to come along next. And the same with dating, it's not right on the date. It's okay. Like, your person is coming. Like, it could be the next guy. So I'm all about, just keeping that kind of mindset where it's like, it could, and things can turn around so quickly. And this is the beauty of it. It's like, I love it when I see my clients who have been single for like 5 years or more, and then all of a sudden within a year they're like married, gonna have a baby, and you're like, you see, like, you didn't think a year ago that this would be your life. But it's amazing how quickly things can turn around. So the coaching is really important. And then, as I say, it's just really getting to know them and then saying, look, trust the process. Like, trust when I say you should meet someone, like, you should just meet them. Like, it's what's the news if you meet them and you don't click. Like, you had a good evening, you went to a new nice place, you had an interesting conversation, it's a new connection that could be useful to you in some way. So I think it's just about, they have to put that trust in me and my team, rather than try to control the process and be like, this is my tick list of what exactly I'm looking for, and do not deviate away from this,
Do you get anyone who like says to you, like, this is my ideal, and it's a long list, and you know, and they're sort of tricky to manage? Do you ever get that?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's particularly with, I would say, like with the other agency I have, which is for South Asian professionals. So there's a lot more cultural nuances with that. So specific religion, maybe specific diet. We don't get into like the casteism and all of that. That's very backdated kind of way. But there is an element of that. And like even yesterday, I spoke to a guy. He's German, but he's got a Middle Eastern background, and he was like, "Look, I think what I've got is quite specific. I don't think I get along with English women, for example." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Like, what makes you think that?" And sometimes it does come down to values, and there are cultural factors and values that come into play, and I don't like disregard that. I think that, but it's also about sometimes challenging some people's beliefs, because sometimes it is literally your beliefs that are keeping you single. Sometimes it takes someone to tell you, rather than just like your friends a lot of the time who might just be like, no, don't settle. It's like, it's not actually like settling as in settling for less than you deserve, but it is actually going, actually, I'm settling down and I'm settling into something which does still work for me. It might not be what I had in mind, but what I've had in mind hasn't been working for me. So why don't I try something different and see if this fits me too,
Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever do sort of like events with the people on your books? Like, do you do like mixes? I know that Millionaire Matchmaker, they always do these mixes, don't they? Do you do that?
I do, yeah. I took a break from it, particularly during COVID, but we just started again this year, and it's working really well, actually. We normally have about 100 people. So it's like, 50 to 100 roughly. Like, one tomorrow is more of a niche event, so that's like 50, but others about 100. And yeah, what I always say to my clients is, I can't wing woman you at these events, because sometimes they want me to wing woman, and I'm like, I can't, because there's 100 people here and I have to
go.
Yeah. And I'm like, look, but if I talk to someone and I'm like, you absolutely need to talk to this person, like, I'm bringing you over, so that's the way I do it.
What's the best part of being a matchmaker then? And also what's the best part of having your own business? Because obviously you kind of was forced into having your own business. And how's that kind of worked out for you? What do you enjoy most about it?
Do you know, for me right now, at this point in my life, it's actually having the freedom. And I've always think that's been a value of mine, like freedom. And I say that because when I thought for sure that I want to have my own business, I always said, when I have children, I want to be around for my kids. I don't want to leave them with the childminder 40 hours a week. Like, I want to be available to them. And the beauty of this business is I choose my schedule. If I can't take a call because like I've got to be there for school pickups or whatever, like I'll block out my calendar and I'll make that a priority to always be there for my kids. So I have the freedom to have the family time and to go on holidays when I want, and even like be able to work from a different country and just like do stuff on Zoom now, which is so great. You know, it's just that freedom that I just couldn't, I could never give that up now, because just having my time of my own, you know, I just love that. And just my clients are so understanding to my family life as well. I have 3 small children. So it's just like, they totally get it. Like, they don't demand too much of me, because I'm like, hey, you've got 3 small children, like, no sweat, like, I know you're on the case, you know. And it's, I would never get that if I went into working in the city in an office, you know. Yeah. And obviously the financial benefits are great as well. You know, you can really charge what you want with this. I still have got that money mindset thing to work through, where I'm not charging as much as I could, but I'm still charging a good amount that, you know, gives me a comfortable life.
And do you feel like you've had to adapt to any changes with the current climate? You know, like obviously COVID made a huge impact. So how did that work with matchmaking?
Yeah, well, like I say, we moved over to Zoom. You know, we just started saying, hey, you know, let's do Zoom dates, and or even I would just be like, let's do park dates, because I'm not a big lover of Zoom dates personally, because I just think someone doesn't come across as they come across in person on a talking head Zoom. Like, they just don't, you know.
It's true.
As women, like, we want to dress up, we want to walk in the room, and you know, the guy go, wow. You're not going to get that on Zoom. So that wow factor for me. So I'd always be like, you know, at least go and walk up to the guy and let him see you, you know, even it has to be at a distance. I would still rather you do that than Zoom. But, you know, and taking it back to good old fashioned phone calls as well. I love phone calls still. I know a lot of the is it, what generation is it now? Gen Z?
I think it's Gen Z.
Phone calls anymore. And I was like, I'm surprised this, because I love a phone call, and I love it when guys call, you know. So I get them to do that. I'm like, call her, arrange the date, do it properly, you know.
Do you kind of facilitate the first date? Like, how do you kind of introduce the couple to each other?
Yeah. So what I would normally do, again, I get the guy to sort of take the lead, where I would say, right, okay, you've both agreed you want to meet. Let him pick a place, because again, when you get married and you want to talk about your first day, I don't want it to be like the place that I picked, you know, and that I arranged. I want it to be his taste. And I want him to show his taste, you know. So I'll say to him, you know, pick a place, time and place. So I'll get her availability and his, and I'll just say to them, like a WhatsApp intro, right, you're having your date here at this time and that date. Feel free to have a phone call before you meet, but I try to limit the texting, because I don't want it to get into this texting relationship. Like, meet first, and then if you get on, text each other every day. But don't think that's the basis of whether you're going to get on because you're texting every minute of the day before you meet. It just it doesn't.
Yeah.
Get
that.
And in terms of sort of, I guess going back to the freelancing lifestyle and advice, like what advice would you give, I guess, your younger self and those who are listening? What advice would you give them moving forward in the freelancing world?
In the freelancing world, yeah, I would say one of the great things that I have learnt now is to collaborate more. And I even set up like a collaboration group with other matchmakers. And it's been great to get that kind of emotional support. support with how to operate your business, and definitely seek out others that are doing what you want to do, because I think a lot of the time we always view others as the competition, but they don't have to be. They can really be people that you can collaborate with. As I say, I refer business to them, they refer business to me, we help each other, match our clients with each other, and it's just been a game changer, really. I would definitely say, seek out, and if there isn't a support group, make up your own. That's what I mean. That's what I did. I set up a Facebook group, invited other matchmakers to come and join it, help each other out. So, if you say, oh, there isn't something out there, then be the one to create it, and a community around what it is that you're doing, and seek out community around what it is that you're doing.
Yeah. And I know that you touched a little bit upon imposter syndrome and sort of the doubt in your past. Does that ever creep back in? How have you dealt with those moments? And have you got any examples that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah, I think, as I say, it's still there, because we all have that little voice in our head, that's like, oh, you're not educated enough. And as I say, I think that it's taken me such a long time to actually feel like I'm a matchmaker. It's crazy, because, as I say, I've literally matched hundreds of people, but it's taken me so long to actually be like, this is,
accept it.
like, I'm actually good at what I do, because for me, there could be 10 people that I match and one that I don't, and I would focus on the one that I didn't, and start feeling like a failure. And I think that's it. It's like having to remind yourself of your triumphs, how you've overcome certain things, and not focusing on, perceived failure, because it's also a thing of like, friends and family close to me always say to me, well, it's not just your failing, is it? Because that person has to take responsibility. And I think that's a big part of it, right? It's kind of, sometimes we're so hard on ourselves and we make it that we are the failure. And it's actually like, no, there's so many other factors which played into why we might have not got that desired result. So it's just a case of just keep going. If it doesn't work first time, try again, and don't beat yourself up. You tried, and that is so much more remarkable than not trying at all.
Yeah. Wise words.
And just a quick one, tell us a little bit about the award that you won for your matchmaking. How did that come about?
I don't know. I just was like, you won an award, and I'm like, oh, really? Again, that comes up. You're like, I didn't apply for an award. Who would have put me down for one? But it just, we've had a few now, and it's obviously lovely. But again, I really don't let those things get to my head, because for me, the reward and the award is getting my clients matched, and nothing else really matters to me. That is the award. That's the reward. When I see someone send me a picture of their baby on their wedding day, that's my award. Like, I couldn't really care for anything else, but I think that it's, it builds trust with people, right? And it's nice to that extent. And it's always nice to get a little bit of recognition for something.
Yeah, it's a good affirmation to know that you're on the right track. You're doing what you love to do.
This is what you're meant to be doing.
And other people appreciate the work that you've put out into the world, because you help make a difference for people. So I think that's the greatest gift you could get.
Yeah, and helping people find love. What better thing to do with your life? I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So we're going to go on to a little game of Would You Rather now, okay? So, would you rather live on a peaceful tropical island or a big bustling city?
Oh, big bustling city.
Would you rather have to start a new job every year until you retire, or have only one job for your entire career?
One job for my entire career. Now that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Would you rather spend your money traveling the world but have few personal possessions, or have a really amazing house but never leave your hometown?
Traveling the world.
Would you rather have to wear all black every day for the rest of your life, or have to mix every colour of the rainbow into your outfit every day?
Colours. Definitely the colours.
Yeah, finally. Everyone said wear black, and I'm like, guys,
I like bright colours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather be able to talk with animals or speak every language?
Oh, animals actually.
Would you rather always be 1 hour late or 1 hour early to everything?
1 hour early, I guess. I'd just be on my phone, wouldn't I, or something, doing some work.
Would you rather be covered neck to toe in tattoos or have one big face tattoo?
Oh, neither. I put a picture of me up yesterday, a mock AI thing of me covered in tattoos, actually. Face tattoo.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I guess face. Wait, the whole face.
Yeah,
like a bit. Well, at least a big, like like Mike Tyson.
I would say the whole thing.
See, I've always thought it like Mike Tyson.
Actually, because makeup can cover it. That's too much work trying to cover the whole.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah,
that's true. And pain as well. Would you rather have to speak in rhyme for the rest of your life or have to speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
Oh, definitely rhyme. I used to love doing poetry.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
Money. Well, it depends about life. If it means you cutting your life short, then no.
Yeah.
No, well, that's not in the question.
No, it's not in the
you
question,
just
so-
live till when you live.
Money then.
Money.
And would you rather be a freelancer or PAYE?
Freelancer.
All the way. And I'm sure lots of people listening would love to follow you on your journey. So where can we find you on socials?
Yeah, so pretty much just on Instagram is where I mainly hang out. So just my name, Siobhan Copland, just there. And also the agency is Cupid in the City as well. And you can follow the agency specific updates there. Cupid _ in the city, should I say.
Amazing.
Wonderful. And one last question. Have you ever been invited to a wedding from one of your matched couples?
Well, literally, November is going to be my first one. I'm going to India. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
But never got the invite. And this is the first time I've actually got an invite. So I'm so excited about that.
Oh my God, that's going to be so amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love
Oh
that.
my God, that's wonderful. Oh, thank you so much for joining us
So
today.
much for having me. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed talking with you both.
Thanks for listening to
Not the 9 to 5 podcast.
If you liked this episode, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, where we release weekly podcasts every Monday.
Comment below to let us know who you'd like to see next on our podcast.
Give this video a thumbs up and maybe share it with a freelance friend or two.
Until next week, everyone.
Keep freelancing.